of panelists that we have today. Thank you so much, Hita, Vikram, and Abhijit for those expert advices, and we are so grateful for you.
Yes, thank you so much, Dolphin Pool team. So with that being said, now we would like to invite the Co-Secretary General of our 2021 E2 Summit, Ananya Balakrishnan, to give us a few closing remarks. Ananya, the floor is all yours now.
Thank you, Maya. So I'm going to start this speech by taking you back about 5 years. It was 2016 and I was in 7th grade. I was an awkward, uncomfortable 13-year-old and I couldn't really figure out where I fit in the world. And it was at that point that I started doing MUN. It was a class in my middle school, and part of that class was attending Junior Omen's monthly debates. I grew every debate cycle and I could see myself doing it. I started my first debate by telling myself that I had to ask at least one POI. And that continued for a couple of debate cycles. But that then became two, which then became three. And then I told myself that I had to start making speeches and then amendments. And by the time I finished 8th grade, submitting resolutions. And I know it was slow progress and I know it sounds silly, but the community that I found in MUN and the support that I got from Junior Omen is what helped me figure out where I fit into the world. So now let's jump 2 years forward from my first beginnings in MUN. I was just starting high school, and that's when I joined the MUN Impact team as a DOID Executive Administrative Officer with Junior Omen. I was so excited to be a part of that team because I'd been a delegate for the monthly Junior Omen debates for like 2 years before that. So when I finally got to the leadership team, I was thrilled beyond belief. Every middle school student who reached out to help, every debate that I chaired, I saw myself there and I saw myself in those students, and nothing compared to the feeling of actually helping someone. MUN Impact was not a large organization then. It was made up of only a few smaller groups, Junior Omen being one of them. The summits were definitely not a thing, that's for sure. But over the years, MUN Impact's impact, if you will, has grown so tremendously that now, as I've been told, we have reached approximately 25,000 people. 25,000. I still cannot get over that number. But I guess that's kind of the point, right? To make that kind of an impact, to build that kind of community. Every single time that I scroll through our leadership Slack, I am absolutely amazed at the incredible initiatives that our members are taking part in. Cleanups, activism, publications, internships, you name it, somebody at Muni will be doing it. And I think that's just part of who we are as an organization. People who really, truly want to make a change. Big or small, we want to make a difference in the world. And that's where things like these summits come in. Not only are they places where you get to interact with change makers, but they're a place where change makers get to interact with people like you, people who genuinely want to make a difference. When you signed up for this summit, you made a statement about yourself. You decided to devote a small portion of your time to listening to people who are so passionate about changing the world that they've put together a global summit for the Sustainable Development Goals. You decided to be a part of that change. And in today's world, that means a lot. So let's come back from my first debate 5 years ago, and let's think about what the world we inhabit today looks like. We all saw the effects of the pandemic, the isolation, the despair. There were periods of time in May, and I live in New Delhi, where I couldn't go more than 2 minutes without hearing an ambulance wailing outside my window. And as our individual worlds shrunk to the size of our houses, our global community suffered. We cannot think about the past 2 years without thinking about COVID, and we cannot think about COVID without thinking about all of the repercussions that people faced. The economic downturns, the closures, the crises. It will take us years and years to make up for the damage that has happened over the last 2 years. And on top of that, we are battling the most intense climate crisis we have ever seen. Each day, our situation gets worse. Each day, the ice melts, the sea levels rise, and each day, it seems as though the world around us is crumbling. Amidst our shared horror, though, there is hope. And I know that there is hope because I know that people like you exist. people who see the world as it is today, and people who want to make it better. There are people who want to advocate for climate reform, for educational reform, for economic reform. And those are the people who are going to fulfill the 2030 agenda, who are going to fulfill the SDGs. Those are the people who are going to change the world. I'm lucky enough to know some of those people very closely. I'm lucky enough to know the people who want to make the world a better place. And I know a lot of them from uni. The entire summit team in particular has been so committed to the idea of change that they have dedicated months and months to this endeavor. You all know who you are, and you inspire me so much. So thank you truly for everything. I have hope, and I know that people like you are why. I cannot express how grateful I am to every single one of you for coming here and for devoting your time to this summit. I cannot wait to see what you do in the months, days, and years to come. Thank you truly for coming to our summit. Thank you for making it yours. Thank you for making the future yours. And thank you for making a change.
Thank you so much, Ananya, for that inspiring words. I'm sure all the participants are amazed as much as I am. So now we would like to remind you that you have the opportunity to participate in our day